the Chicago Bears, for as dysfunctional as what this franchise has been over the last 2 decades, Ben Johnson is the right head coach to finally be able to bring about change in the Bears franchise, because Caleb Williams, I still believe, has all the talent to be as good as what he was hyped up to be coming out of USC, that being the next Patrick Mahomes. And if Ben Johnson truly is this next Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan type coach, if he can develop Caleb Williams and help him reach his full potential, there's no reason why the Bears next season can't be in the same position that the Washington Commanders are in right now in the NFC Championship game with Jaden Daniels, because the arm strength, the athleticism, all the tools are there for Caleb Williams to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And with Ben Johnson's creativity as a play caller, the wide receivers that he's going to be inheriting, Rome Odunze can play. We know what DJ Moore can do. You got Cole Kmet, one of the better tight ends in the game. They know that they have to commit on improving the offensive line. And when they do that, you have a head coach that, with his offensive prowess, can elevate Caleb Williams to playing at an MVP level in 2025. Ben Johnson, I believe that this is a fantastic hire. It's the best hire. It's the right hire. It's the only hire that the Chicago Bears could have made this offseason to actually be able to elevate the quarterback position for a change. Now, Matt Nagy was a hot name, and when they hired him, there was a lot of hope that he could have Mitch Trubisky playing at a high level. And they did get to the playoffs a couple of times with Matt Nagy. But the first time they went to the playoffs, it was mostly due to how good Vic Fangio, who was the defensive coordinator that year when they had the double doink that sent them home in the postseason, his defense was phenomenal that season. And he eventually got the Denver Broncos head coaching job. And that's when Matt Nagy started to struggle as the head man in Chicago. But with Ben Johnson, though, I think he's going to get the defensive coordinator hire right. There already is a lot of talent on that Bears team that Ryan Poles has assembled. He just needs to improve the trenches. I would not be surprised if we see the Bears easily go from worst to first in this division this upcoming season. Because right now, with the Minnesota Vikings having questions at quarterback, and your defense still is lacking in a lot of areas in terms of talent. You got to re-sign a lot of guys that are set to hit the open market hit the open market come March. For the Detroit Lions, you got to replace two great coordinators. There definitely is a path that, if Ben Johnson ends up being as good as he's been hyped up to be over these last 2 years, where we could see the Chicago Bears win this division and maybe they're on the doorstep of making it to the Super Bowl. Because Caleb Williams, let's not act like everybody didn't have them as their QB1 in last year's draft class. Probably only about 3 or 4% of you all out there had Jaden Daniels or anybody else ranked higher than Caleb Williams. So I think that Ben Johnson is going to do a fantastic job as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. This was the only hire that they could have made, and this was the right hire. And although he is going to be in a tough division, you do have questions about how is his game management going to be? How well is he going to be able to manage the clock? Being around Dan Campbell, and with what we've seen out of him and his play calling in certain situations, I don't think that you're going to have to worry about the Bears losing games the same way they did under Matt Eberflus with Ben Johnson as the head coach. This is going to be the best head coach that the Bears have hired since the 80s.